Hello, good morning. There are we again with the MC2MC podcast episodes on the MC2MC Connect event here in Antwerp. Good morning. My name is Frans Oudendorp, together with
Michel van Vliet.
Good morning. And we are continuing the interviews with speakers with interesting people, interesting topics.
Oh, let's hope.
Yeah. And today in this episode we have Per Larsen. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have Simon, and a difficult last name for me.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah.
How do I pronounce that?
Yeah, how do we pronounce my name? It's like I'm not sure if I'm going to say it because it's kind of a competition I do in my sessions. Like
okay.
Those that can pronounce my name. Well, in Norway we say Skotheimsvik.
Yeah. Good. And Per, you work at Microsoft for I think a very long time already.
Almost 6 years.
Yeah. And what is your role in within Microsoft?
So I'm in the Intune engineering organization in a team called CAT. So we are talking to our most strategic customers about what they're missing in the product, what our strategy is moving forward, and how they could actually use our product in the right way. Yeah. And for the last couple of years, we have also done a lot of Intune suite, and that is a brand new product inside our suite, and then Copilot in Intune as well.
Yeah, let's see. Let's dive into that topic in a few seconds. And Simon, what are you doing in your day job?
In my day job, I'm a consultant at Cloudway in Norway. So I'm actually consulting, even though people don't think of Cloudway that way, because we're doing a lot of conferences around the world. So yeah, I'm a consultant.
Yeah, so customers and not only conferences. That's what you guys are doing.
Yeah. That's true.
Michel.
Yeah.
What kind of what kind of questions do we have for?
Let's start with Per, because you've got a session about EPM today.
Yes, that is correct.
Can you explain what EPM is and what use cases it's being used for?
Yeah,
it helps solving.
Yeah, so basically we want everybody on a Windows device to be a standard user, but some things requires elevation to actually run. It could be application, it could be settings. So we created a solution called Endpoint Privilege Management built into the Intune console, where an IT admin can create rules and the end user can elevate installations, application that they need to run. It could be a application in finance or a developer that needs an application running elevated on a device. And then it's only that application and not the entire user being elevated at the same time.
Okay. Then how's because in your talk you will talk about the administrative perspective on how you can manage.
How you can manage it, and also what the difference is between Windows just announced at Ignite last year that we're going to create a solution called Administrator Protection that is natively built into Windows to protect local administrator. But as the end goal is for an end user to be standard user, you need EPM to help the end user elevate. So there's a big difference between the administrator protection and the EPM, where administrator protection is to protect local admin, and EPM is to help elevate the standard user whenever they need it.
Yeah. Are there any gaps still in the product or pitfalls that we need to take into account?
There's always gaps, especially in a new product, and especially the way that we created it with security in mind. So some of the issue we hear from customers is that everything is being elevated in a virtual account, but that is actually the same with the administrator protection. That is also running in a virtual account. So depending on how you're installing your application and then elevating them afterwards, that can be an issue. But if you do it right, in most cases, it's actually not an issue.
No. Because I know there are a lot of customers who are looking forward to using EPM. I know because there's a lot of for example, use cases for administrative pause, for example, so privileged access workstations. Most of the time, customers don't want to have those workstations which the users have local administrative permissions to connect to production data. That EPM will help in that matter, because it's specifically for that application at that time to raise your level.
And also depending on how you as an IT admin actually create the rule. So you can create a rule where you're allowed to elevate everything. You shouldn't do that. And then you can create specific rules to elevate, as in on a poor device. If you need to elevate PowerShell, then you can elevate PowerShell, but you can block it from running sub-processes elevated. So depending on how you're actually creating your rules, you can make it quite granular.
Yeah.
What kind of strategy do you recommend for configuring EPM effectively to balance security and usability?
So first of all, what we actually recommend is putting into audit mode. It's not called audit mode in the console, but when you get it into audit mode, you will get all the unmanaged elevation on a device into your report. And based on that report, you can start creating your rules. And none of that has any user impact. And then you can take away the local admin for your user and assign the rules. And then when it starts to have impact on the user. So you can actually do it in steps. So first of all, just ensure that it's actually enabled, so you get the data in and see, do we have application that requires elevation or not?
Yeah. Is there any integration with other security measures and tools within the in the full ecosystem? Or is it more or less a standalone stuff that you can use on top of Windows?
So not at the moment, but if you look inside the what's new, what is coming, we are going to release a functionality together with the Security Copilot. So when you use our supported proof functionality, and you as a service desk administrator is looking at, do I want to allow the end user to elevate this process, then they can use Copilot to get TVM data to see, is that application actually trustworthy? Does it has a good reputation? Should I actually allow it? So we're building in the Copilot and the AI to help the IT admin to make better choices on a security level.
Yeah, and we were, before this recording, we already talked a bit about it. Yesterday on the Workplace Ninja Connect, you're also presenting on that kind of stuff. I think today or tomorrow I will receive a new laptop, the Copilot Plus ARM device from the Surface device. ARM devices, that's already supported and that can be used? Or is there...
No, we're running private previews at the moment, but we haven't found any issues. So when we talk about ARM devices, basically everything that includes some kind of driver need to be rewritten for ARM. And that is what we've been waiting for. We have the code, we have the binaries. As you said, I showed it yesterday. I'm going to show it today at the MC2MC as well.
Yep.
And it should go out shortly to the public.
Yeah. So I really look forward to that, because nowadays I have a normal device and the next one will be an ARM device. And if you can use this kind of technology, yeah, that's really awesome. So keep an eye on that. That will be public in the next few weeks, months, whatever. And,
near future.
Yeah.
Are there any other specific things that are on the roadmap that you can share?
Yes. So we are working on argument support. So let's say that you have a command line that you need to run and you need to elevate, and then you can take that executable and create a rule for it, and then you can add an argument saying you are only allowed to elevate if you're using these these parameters on the files. So again, that is to narrow it down, that you are only allowed to do certain thing. That could be for a device, a hybrid joint device, where you need to leave the intra-joint state. That requires administrative privilege and a command line. And you can specify that command line, DSMC rec /leave, and then you can create an EPM ruling that only allows you to do that. So that is going to create the rules more specific on the needs, and that is going to tighten the security even more.
Yeah, and if you talk about your session, what will be the main key takeaway for the for the attendees here on the session that you do?
That would be to get it enabled, so you actually get the data into the reporting, so you're aware do you actually need it, and where do I need it, and also that we are saying that you have a backstop. So instead of creating rules, we have to support approved options, so the end user can go in and right click on an application and say, oh, can I elevate this? And then you put in a business justification, it goes into Intune, and the IT admin can approve or deny, and then it goes back to the end user. So you don't actually need to create rules for unknown application, the one-time installers and so on. You can leverage support approved for that. And that actually makes it way easier to get started with EPM, as you don't have to create a rule for everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounds good. Yeah. So you already mentioned Copilot. So Simon, you got a session about Copilot.
Yeah, I have a session with Copilot in the title, and
what kind of Copilot?
Yeah, that's always.
What's your favorite one?
Yeah, what's my favorite one? Well, this session is actually about Copilot for Microsoft 365, meaning the Copilots you find within the Office applications like Teams and Words and all over the place. So when that was released, everybody was talking about and preaching about the compliance side of it and how to protect your data, ensure your data are stored the correct way, you don't overshare and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking about that. I'm coming from the Intune side, device management, and then I realized in the documentation for Copilot for 365 there is actually mentioned how you should prepare your devices for Copilot, and I realized nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
So I figured I should make a session about that. So that's the session I'm running at MC2MC today.
What are the things that they need to do on the device then?
Yeah, if you look in the documentation, it's kind of like if you're running your devices managed through Intune, you're probably all good. But you should, first of all, you should have an Enter ID account. You should have a license. Preferably, you should have Windows 11. You should have the Office applications in place and stuff like that. So I'm giving some tips, tricks, and techniques on how to get there in a good way.
And is any device in your perspective capable of handling Copilot, or?
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah. They are. Yeah, sure. So, well, I'm talking about some tips, tricks, and techniques, and basically some tips on how to get up to speed with this from all the way from autopilot and until the user is onboarded. How quick can they be ready for Copilot? That's kind of the tips I'm sharing there. So I want the users or the attendees to get some of those tips and tricks.
Yeah. And any pitfalls?
If there are any pitfalls?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are always pitfalls there, and that's for sure. But I'm not sure which ones I could pick on here, though.
Do you also talk about Security Copilot?
I'm not mentioning Security Copilot as such. Actually, not. You could use it to prepare your Intune environment and stuff that, but I'm more into like giving examples of stuff we see out in the wild where you shouldn't do this or you should do that instead. So like more experience from my side. And the funny thing though is I'm talking about 365 Copilot, which is a tool you can use to automate and help inside the Office applications. But I have built this deck and this presentations by myself without any use of Copilot. So, so not even the Norwegian king does that.
Yeah, but if talking about Copilot, I can imagine that if you Security Copilot, if you're using that to enhance the security within Intune, within optimizing your configuration profiles and so on. I'm keen to learn how M365 Copilot can help to secure your devices. So can you elaborate a little bit on what M365 Copilot does in preparing your devices? So what does it do for you, and how does it help you?
Well, the M365 Copilot doesn't do anything regarding device management, but I'm flipping the coin and looking at the other end. How can I ensure my devices are quickly up and running with Copilot within the Office applications? And with that, like I want to ensure that they, for instance, have OneDrive for Business, the latest versions installed on the device as soon as the user are getting onto the desktop, because then, and ensure it's signed in silently, your known folder move and all those kinds in place. So then we are kind of prepared for Copilot for a 365. Ensure we have the latest version of the 365 apps installed, and we are on the right level of those kind of stuff. So I'm going down in the details on how to prepare your devices using Intune.
No, nice. I'm a bit struggling though.
Oh yeah.
With I can ask Copilot a lot of questions, so but I'm still wondering what M365 can do, because you're talking about known folder move for OneDrive for Business and that kind of thing. That is sticked into configuration profile, so I can configure everything within Intune.
Yeah.
When my device is, when I have an autopilot device, I enroll it. Driving into in Intune, it's managed. And then all the configuration profiles are coming through. Known folder move is active, and then so how does M365 help you to define their policies, or how was that?
No, M365 Copilot is not helping me defining the policies. If I want the Copilot there, it's what is it called today? Copilot for security, or is it security Copilot?
Good question. Yeah.
I think it's still security Copilot again. Or is it the other way around? I don't know.
Yeah, I cannot remember on top of my head.
No, but that is the tool I could utilize within Microsoft Intune to help me analyze my settings, or configure my settings, or find the settings I want to implement. Yeah.
And I think this afternoon we have a recording with Albert Hoiting, and that's more or less on the data security part. But what do you think on AI, Copilot, and data governance? Because if you have access to data, is there something you take care of?
Yeah, I have colleagues which are working heavily in that space, and they have been preaching for the governance side of it, and that's kind of, it's important, because that's what everybody is talking about. It's not my my cup of tea, but it's really important. So I just looked at the other end of it in my session, how to prepare your devices for it. But still, the governance is really important, because the Copilot for 365 will actually read the data and can give you answers to it. So like when I'm coming back from sessions now, from MC2MC, I would just ask Copilot what has happened in the company since last time. What do I have to focus on? And it will actually gather that data as long as I have access to it, and give me the answers. Well, this and that happened in a Teams meeting, or the emails used to follow up this kind of stuff. So it's really important with the governance.
Yeah. Can I combine these kind of tools, Copilot for security, probably more often than M365 Copilot, in combination with Intune Suite, EPM, or other stuff as well?
I think it's different use cases, but to his point about compliance and data governance, you should already have been using that and have everything under control, especially when we are in the EU with GDPR and so on. Yeah. But for us, that has been a consultant for a very long time. We can remember when Microsoft was releasing Delph, and there was a lot of pain because customers starting to say, yeah, I can see more data, but they have already been having access to that data all along. And that is exactly the same with Copilot. So in general, if you don't have the governance in place, you have some work to do, but not because of Copilot, because you need it whether or not you have Copilot or not.
Yeah.
When the end user have access to the data.
Yeah. What resources or training would you suggest for IT pros looking to enhance their expertise in Copilot, EPM, Intune, whatever?
Well, that's a kind of
Let's
open
start.
question, but like starting to attend a session like MC2MC or Workplace Ninja, that is a really good place to start, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or ask Copilot.
Yeah, you can ask Copilot, of course, but I mean, attending events like this is really, really valuable because you get to meet people, you can attend sessions and get to ask questions directly. And yeah.
Any suggestions from you, Per?
Yeah, no, inside our docs, there's pretty good guidance on how to get started with learning and training, but it depends on what level you're already in. For me personally, the one game changer that I see with Copilot, there's actually skills that I don't have to learn. So, for example, I don't have to learn QQL to actually write a query. I can just ask Copilot in natural language inside Intune to get information about my devices based on device query. And
that is. I totally agree with that because last customer that I helped with dashboarding and in Azure and that kind of stuff based on KQL. That's not my core knowledge, so to say. So Copilot can definitely help there. Last question for you, Simon. Same question that I asked to Per. What kind of key takeaways from your session for the audience?
Well, the key takeaway is always to answer the whys and the hows. So I try to give them the whys, or if they don't have them themselves, they should see why they are doing stuff. And then I always show how to do it.
Yeah.
So that's the key takeaways.
Nice. I think, Michel, you have a non-technical question.
Well, it is relatively technical, but we'd like to close off with more generic questions for you both. What's the one piece of tech that you cannot live without?
Today I would actually say Copilot from Microsoft 365. So
That's a good answer.
just going into a meeting and have a meeting resume afterwards, I save at least an hour a day in my working time where I can do something more productive than writing up meeting notes.
Yeah.
So that is, I cannot live without that today.
Yeah, good one. For you?
Oh, that's quite an open question for a tech guy like me. So it could be all from home automation to whatever, but I copy appear on that 365 within meetings and calls and summarizing. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's really, really great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine because there was a few weeks ago I had a question to Peter Dalmans. He has the Copilot license, so I need a presentation for a specific scenario, and then Peter, I can help you with that, and then a few seconds later a presentation was shared with me with a full outline of I think it was an XDR topic or so, but I was straight to the point with up-to-date information. And you need to create your own story on that, but how good the information is that is shared within a presentation with pictures on that. Yeah, it's really awesome to use this kind of technology. It has downsides, data governance, data security, but I think it can really help people to move forward on a productivity based within the company with presentations with so many.
At least it gives you a good starting point for everything.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Any other questions?
No, I think that's
So you're running out of questions.
I'm running out of questions. Yeah,
So
right.
I use Copilot for
you've got
the
a couple.
questions. So I have so many questions, but I think many of them are already answered. And probably we need to close off. We're already half an hour on the way. So thanks for joining in this episode, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really awesome to be at the MC2MC Connect event and in this podcast recording. If you like these recordings, like and subscribe the YouTube channel of MC2MC.
Click all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, definitely. And leave a review so we can enhance the next recordings that we probably can do for them. So thanks for listening. Thanks for viewing. And until next time.